Welcome back to another edition of the Colors of Prog. This is what I hope to be the all-new, better audio version as well as a better video version of the show. So I've gotten quite a few people asking about the Yes and Pink Floyd shows that I have promised. They're upcoming. I've been making notes. Yes is still going at 50 years plus. And Pink Floyd, though they seem dormant at the time, they're not a defunct band. They're just currently on hiatus. And they have a new live release of an older show. So David Gilmour is keeping that going, though he says he's not interested in performing live anymore with the band. Take it, never say never again, right? Take from that what you want. So they're both currently still around, and just me making notes on important things to say. I'm not going to give you a history of Pink Floyd. I'm not going to give you a history of Yes. You can find that information elsewhere, but they will be in upcoming shows and soon. But right now, I picked 5 or 6 titles I wanted to discuss. And so our first is Gong. Gong. The current incarnation of Gong. It's a beautiful inner sleeve, isn't it? So there's, I'm sure quite a few people are familiar with Gong and Dave Allen and Pierre Moulin in the splintered version of Gong, and the Mother Gong. Is a huge discography of Gong and the offshoots. Canvas Tarabi was in the original Gong, original meaning when David Allen was still alive, and he was in that version of Gong, as well as with some of these other musicians. Ian East, Fabio Golfetti, Cheb Nettles, I love that name, Dave Sturt, not a Stewart, but a Sturt, and of course Canvas. Canvas writes most of these tunes, and he does all the lyrics, and he's the chief singer. He also has quite a... he has other bands going on, and he has solo music going on. The guy just comes up with music all the time. Stuff is great. This version of Gong is still really heavy, but it's also very hypnotic, and it's chiefly just out there, and it's just so good. And this album, The Universe, also collapses. It's terrific. It's one of their better. Well, actually, I don't think Gong has done a disappointing or not terrific album since Dave Allen's passing. And so this one is really good. The Elementals, I mean, there's 4 tracks on here. And it's an album-length release. It's not an EP. And they're just 8 songs, about 15 minutes long. It's really terrific. So if you forgot about Gong, stayed away from Gong, not familiar with Canvas Tarabi, he's on Bandcamp, where you could also sample a lot of his music. Really good release. I mentioned Gong before, but not this particular one. Next is, this is crazy. Franco Patanio, Foetus. Very strange. Beautiful gatefold sleeve, by the way. With information in Italian and the lyrics in English. So the deal is with Franco, I did say Franco, pardon me. Franco he is a musician, lyricist, poet, artist, painter, filmmaker, and very political, also very out there, very outre. And he is definitely an alternative artist. He's quite something. And he's done a few releases. This is actually an English language version of Foetus. He originally came out with an Italian language version. And he decided to do it in English. And it's, fine English speaking voice, singing voice. And this guy is just mind-blowing. The stuff is like, I don't know, think pre-Jim Thirlwell, No Wave, it's got like Dylan-esque things going on, the way the stories are told. But definitely for the early 1970s, for an artist from anywhere to do some jarring thing like this. Thing was, Franco kept trying to do. He did a CD. He did a recording called Pollution, which I have, and he did a couple of other titles in this realm, and he just had difficulty with getting his stuff out there. So he shifted gears a little bit, started putting in elements of classical into his music by the mid-70s, but still trying to retain his interest and his sound. At some point in time, until his retirement about 2 years ago, 2019, 2018, 2 to 3 years ago, he became one of Italy's most popular singers. Go figure. He changed his whole boom. Man is in his 70s now, and but he just changed his gear, his turn, his where he was going, but it still shows an immense talent that he was able early on to do something like this. So Foetus, Franco Patanio, it's definitely prog. It's very unusual. I liked it a lot, actually. It's not not everyone will go for some things. That's the way it goes. Now, also on the international path, from Argentina, Seru, Giran. The album was called Peperina, recorded in 82, 83, I believe. This was re-released on the Spanish Universal label in 2004. Also remastered. I think there's 1 or 2 extra tracks here. Very good prog. It's really nice. Symphonic prog. There's some elements of jazz. Very little of the Latin sound. That feel, rather. It's really good. It's also, I don't believe this is anyone in the band. There's also a rather haunting photograph that's on the cover. It's Surujiran Pepperina, and it's very difficult to track down their stuff. I have seen this around, not shilling for them, but on eBay, here to there. I got it at a fantastic price. So I was like, I'll take a chance. And I'm glad I did. Now I'm interested in hearing more. So there's that. Yes, he reaches behind him because I had it all set up. Ashraf Temple. There you go. Sorry about the glare. So this is, I so dislike, I mentioned before, the term krautrock, but this is a German band. This is one of their earlier releases. This was remastered by original I had a moment. The original member of the band, the original band leader, which it will come to me. I know. Talk about preparation. Anyway, this is one of the better Ashraf Temple recordings I've heard in a long time. It's also been, his name is on there. Duh. Manuel Gottsching. There's a very interesting story here that I guess he's a bit of a control freak. So he went back into some of the early Ashraf Temple recordings and was heavily involved in remastering them for CD release. If they were remastered and put out on vinyl, I'm not sure about that, so I don't want to speak to that. So rather than, sometimes someone who's like a control freak, it's difficult. So, but, they sometimes wipe other artists' contributions. So he didn't do that, actually. So, I mean, this is one of the finest remastering jobs Manuel has done. These are one of the finest remastering jobs anybody I have heard done on this kind of material. Really, really terrific. Punchy. Sounds so fresh and new. I have a couple other recent things he's done. And Julian Cope from the Teardrop Explodes, that band from the 80s. Everyone's pretty familiar with them, I believe, if you're into music. Or if not, look them up, the Teardrop Explodes. They're a crossover. I don't know how you would characterize them. Punk, or not really punk. That was in the new romantic, new wavy kind of. There were some bands we threw labels at because we didn't know what to call them. So he was in that band. He was very much into krautrock. He wrote a book, actually, about the subject. And he also did festivals. And he invited this gentleman to appear at some of his festivals, pardon me. And at some point in time, Manuel says, I don't have a band anymore. And so he grabbed some people, and they did one of Julian Cope's festivals, and there's a live CD of that, as well as he was invited back once more, and he just brought someone else, and there were a duo, and that was also credited to Ashraf Temple. I will speak about those at another time. Finally, on this shorter show than usual, Wobbler. Pretty damn terrific. Polish progressive rock. Not an old band, for sure. It's definitely a band who's been active the last 10, 15 years, I believe. And they do long symphonic type songs. Those that are really into symphonic prog but really, really enjoy this. This LP is beautiful. I keep it in plastic because it's just gorgeous. It has a beautiful gatefold. Again, as earlier, like the Gong, it's only 4 songs, and they're lengthy, but it's just gorgeous stuff. Really hard to find this. A friend of mine said he had come across a bunch of Wobbler CDs in a shop in California for a ridiculous sum, and man, you got lucky. But here's the thing, though. When you find music you like, right, and you start looking all over, like, oh my gosh, these prices are high. I have a friend in England who is interested in listening to more of music he likes, and maybe listening to some music he's not too familiar with. But then if he gets it from the States, there's the import tax. And then for me, getting it from other countries, there's the import tax. Getting from England is the VAT, euros, and thanks a lot for all this other great confusion over splitting of the European economy. But it's expensive for us wherever we are. So getting back to Wobbler, Dwellers of the Deep, by the way, is this new, most recent thing that they've done, this recording. And so you're getting something, and then you're looking for it, and you can't find it. So kudos to my friend. You got lucky for finding very reasonably priced older Wobbler material. I understand they were on the earliest cruise to the edge. I was not on the first or second, the first two. I was on 3 in a row, so 3, 4, and 5, I think. So in any case, it's all confusing, right? In pandemic time, we lose track of time. So anyway, that's a brief rundown of what's going on right now. There's tons of new material that came in here. I'm making notes, re the Floyd and the S. I'm also making more detailed notes. I won't have a moment like I had with the Ashraf Temple where I forgot his name. Yes, I tried. Anyway, thanks for checking in. It's a short one. You should be in and out and then go on to your daily life. But these are some recordings I really like and I recommend. Of course, I'm not going to like everything, and there's some of those coming up. What do you do with that? Give it away, trade it in? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show, and hope you come back again. Bye.